Perusahaan induk PT HM Sampurna Tbk, Philip Morris International menggelar konferensi dan pameran teknologi bebas asap bertajuk Technovation Smoke Free by PMI Abu Dhabi Edition di Jumeirah Shahdiat Island di Abu Dhabi, Uni Emirat Arab pada 11 Desember di 2024 lalu. Dalam acara ini, CEO dari PMI, Jacek Olsek, menegaskan bahwa pentingnya transformasi teknologi menuju dunia bebas asap.
Teknologi terus berkembang hampir di semua sektor termasuk dalam industri tembakau. Saat ini saya berada di event Technovation 2024 yang diselenggarakan di Jumeirah Shahdiat Island, Abu Dhabi. Acara ini pun diselenggarakan oleh Philip Morris International yang merupakan perusahaan induk dari PT HM Sampurna Tbk. Dalam acara ini membahas inovasi terbaru dalam industri tembakau. Dan juga di sini ada sejumlah presentasi serta juga ada diskusi yang pastinya menarik tentang inovasi di balik produk-produk inovatif bebas asap yang dikembangkan oleh PMI. Pada kesempatan ini, saya juga berkesempatan untuk wawancara dengan CEO PMI Jacek Olsek, yang dimana Jacek Olsek membahas visi dan juga strategi perusahaan dalam menghadapi sejumlah tantangan yang ada di industri tembakau di masa depan. Dan selain itu juga nanti kita akan mendengarkan bagaimana PMI melalui Sampurna menunjukkan komitmennya untuk tumbuh bersama Indonesia dan mendukung prioritas pemerintah dalam mencapai target pertumbuhan ekonomi hingga 8%. Berikut ini kita simak wawancaranya.
Mr. Olsek, congratulations for this event. It's really a great event. That we see that this event is very impressive. That highlights how the technology drives the disruptions. And also, my question is, first, could you please share to us the insights on the role of science and also technological innovation in disrupting and transforming the industry?
Okay, so we all know that in case of our industry, main product is the cigarette. We know that the cigarettes create some negative health effects. They create the harm. We also understand now how these harms are being created, and with the innovation and developing a new product, we know that we can significantly reduce the exposure to the harmful substances which you find in a cigarette smoke. Then comes the science to ensure that these findings are supported by the scientific research programs which do confirm that people who would switch to this product will significantly reduce the exposure to the substances. But behind this whole thing is the massive time and the monetary investment, because year to date we have spent behind all programs more than $12.5 billion. Part of that investment went to Indonesia, so we are very happy with this. We are very pleased with this, but the journey continues.
And also, could you please tell us the elaboration on PMI's journey in leveraging the advancements in Indonesia through Sampurna?
So, our history in Sampurna is quite a long history. We're very pleased the moment when we entered to Indonesia via the acquisition of Sampurna, but we also have brought Sampurna over these 2 decades to the completely new level of performance and impact of a Sampurna, I would say, on the broader society, on the impact on a society in Indonesia. And if I just take the investments into the factories, including the first smoke-free products factory, which was brought in the region in Indonesia, in Sampurna, but also these ongoing investments through the Sampurna retail community, which actually elevated a lot of tiny small retailers into the properly organized shops connected by the digital. Here comes the technology. Help their lives, improves their profitability, improves their living income. I think there is a lot of positives which the company like Sampurna has brought into the country. So it's not just the investment dollar-wise, but the technology which bring into the country. The same technology provides Sampurna with opportunity to export. So obviously the export revenues will come back to Indonesia, but very importantly, the quality of the working conditions, the taking care of our partners like retailers, wholesalers, which I mentioned, creates this. Samperna is a family in Indonesia. This is what I hear every time in Jakarta, in Surabaya, and other places. Everyone is telling me Samperna is a family. And that family is not just the employees, the people who are around them, around some parents. I'm very, very pleased with this.
Okay. Well, talk about the investment that you've done in Indonesia. Like it's 6.5 billion USD, right? So could you please tell more about it, and as well as how the PMIs and Sampurna's footprint for value and impact creation in Indonesia?
Yes, so one could say that maybe $6.5 billion investment in our history of investing in Indonesia is not in absolute terms the highest amount of dollars or amount of money, but I would argue that from the changes this investment has brought to Indonesia and how many people, consumers, etc., have been impacted by the investment, I think is actually coming very high on the top of list. So this is not just $6.5 billion, it's a $6.5 billion with the massive impact on the millions of people living in Indonesia. So it's also, I think, it speaks very well about the government of Indonesia. I know that you're in the process of, changing the government, but so far the approach to investment in Indonesia was, very good. I mean, hence we brought to make this investment. Indonesia is the only market in our region, in Asia, even broader, when we were allowed successfully to bring all free smoke-free products into the market, which already puts Indonesia many steps ahead of many other countries.
Well, speaking about the new government, now the new government, they have a target to boost the economic growth to 8%. And when we talk about that, how the PMI through Sampurna done or plan to do to support the government in boosting Indonesian economic growth?
Well, by continuing investment, continue bringing technology, working on, hopefully finding a good export markets for the products which are, made in Indonesia. We keep on investing into the retail community, expanding this retail community. I think digitalization of this community, which sounds again like a very simple task, but if we consider the territory and complexity of the territory of Indonesia, making all these retailers connected to wholesalers, how that helps or facilitates them making a better business, to the growth of Indonesia, to the growth of a GDP, like I guess many other companies. I mean, one thing which is always specific to our industry is that on the one hand, tobacco has the tobacco products. The tobacco industry has a very big footprint in the economy. It's also a source of a very important source of income for the government. That income is called taxes, and these products pay taxes. That we always are looking for some sort of a stable development in a tax policy, because we learn it from many other markets in the world that if we exaggerate with the speed of a tax increases, etc., then we're achieving a completely different outcomes which we desire, which is usually illicit trade and a massive erosion of governmental revenues. So I think we always need to find through the conversations, dialogue, a right balance, recognizing on the one hand the need of a government to collect more, okay, and reinvest that money for other important needs, but on the other hand, don't break the value of the industry, because we may actually go into the downward slope. But so far, I think Indonesia is going in the right direction.
Okay, great. And so far, how do you see the future of smoke-free products of PMI in Indonesia?
I think it's a very good question. I think it is country by country view. Some countries will be much faster. I mean, we very often refer to the examples like Japan or Sweden, different form of smoke-free products with the rapid decline of the smoking rates. Japan over the last 10 years, about the 50 +% of smokers can switch from cigarettes to these products. But you will also have countries like Philippines, like Indonesia, like many others, which the pace will be adjusted to the other dynamics in the country, okay? So it's difficult for us or for me to say that there is a one solution and it has to be applied everywhere. I think it's always the wrong strategy. You might have a great idea, great vision, but we need to, one has to translate it into what is the market situation. Because again, we are not alone into this whole thing. It's us, it's other companies in the industry, tobacco farmers, tobacco growers, clove growers, and many other thousands of suppliers, etc., which we need to somehow drive this change without not undermining the economic impact this industry has on the broader society. But we've learned that, you know, in the countries when we have, you know, access and a normal sort of a conversation, once you hear, you know, the views of different ministries, different stakeholders, etc., in a very normal, as I call it, mature conversations, you can come with you can still achieve the progress, but without creating too much or too many of the unintended consequences. So you need to be optimistic.
Okay, Mr. Ozak, thank you very much for your time and hope PMI and also Sampurna can grow well with the economic in Indonesia.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Itulah tadi wawancara saya dengan CEO PMI Jacek Ozak, dan dari wawancara tadi dapat disimpulkan bahwa PMI melalui PT HM Sampurna Tbk telah melakukan berbagai langkah strategis sebagai upaya untuk mendukung tercapainya target pertumbuhan ekonomi hingga 8%. Nah, ada pun beberapa langkah strategis yang telah dilakukan untuk mendukung tercapainya target pertumbuhan ekonomi ini adalah hilirisasi produk dan juga investasi lokal, kemitraan dengan UMKM, pengembangan sumber daya manusia, hingga penerapan teknologi dan juga inovasi. Nah, untuk event dari Technovation 2024 ini menunjukkan bagaimana inovasi ini tidak hanya bermanfaat bagi konsumen saja, tetapi juga berkontribusi pada ekonomi lokal melalui kolaborasi dengan mitra dalam negeri. Demikian laporan saya, Gita Meningrum, Abu Dhabi.